Here's how I made my Leafy Chiffon Elven dress. I'm going to walk you through step by step. You're going to start with your corset and your embroidery pieces, and don't forget your printed graphic chiffon. Sewing mannequin is really nice to have because it works as a placeholder for all your pieces. I ordered 2 5-yard pieces of this printed chiffon, and I'm going to cut it into triangles. I'm going to try to get about 6 large triangles out of this fabric. Once the pieces are cut, I'm going to pin them to my mannequin and start on the sleeves. Going down the length of the fabric, I'm going to fold it in half and cut a teardrop shape. It should end up looking something like this, and we're going to cut 2 of those, and those are going to be our sleeves. So here is all our pieces cut up and ready to go, and now it is time to start the sewing. I start by sewing all of the triangles for the skirt, placing back to back, and then sewing down the seam of each piece. So it should end up looking like this, a giant half circle. Next, using the widest stitch possible, I go across the top and then pull it, and that's how you get the cinch for the skirt. Next, I'm going to pin the skirt to my corset, so I'm going to go low in the back and then high on the sides and low in the front, leaving the slit open on the side. Once the pinning is complete, I'm going to carefully remove it from the mannequin and then hand stitch on the skirt. Once you're done, it should look something like this, and now we're going to start working on the embroidery pieces. So these all come together, you just cut them out. You're also going to need 2 triangle pieces cut out of power mesh, and I'm just going to sew these to the tops of the cups. You can have a lot of fun and creativity with this next part. You're just going to cut out all your embroidery pieces and hot glue them into place. I'm using the mesh straps that I sewed in to place these pieces over the cups and have it extend up over the neckline. I cut out some triangular shaped pieces for the hips and then these long pieces for shoulder sleeves. Once I was happy with the placement of all the embroidery pieces, I hand stitched them in place. For the draping shoulder sleeves, I used a strip of power mesh and sewed it onto the back of the strip of the embroidery. And this is just going to tie in the back, and it allows for movement in the shoulders. Don't forget to add pieces to the back of the corset and stitch them all in place. With the pieces I had left over, I sewed them to the bottom of the corset underneath the skirt, and this kind of creates a cool layering effect. Next, it's time to work on the long arm sleeves. You're going to take your teardrop shaped pieces. You're going to sew across the top with some elastic. This is going to go around your arm. You're going to inside it out and sew about 8 inches down and add a little cinch. This next part is the curly hem that I like to put on my dresses. You basically just take fishing line and you fold over the edge of the fabric, and then you zigzag stitch it all the way across. You're going to do this on the entire edge of the sleeves and then also the entire edge of the skirt. For the final step of the sleeves, I added these embroidery leaves, and I just did a few stitches here and there to tack it on and had this cute little piece going down the middle. So it should end up looking like this. So here is the final look. You can see that I added the curly hem to the skirt as well. And then just to add some final touches, I'm going to add some little rhinestones with E6000 glue to add a little bit of sparkle. You can cut out little pieces of the embroidery to layer and add a cool effect. Okay, here is the final product. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and all you need is a sewing machine that can do a straight stitch and a zigzag stitch, and you can make your own dress.